Hello everyone, my name is Rafli Putra Melando and my student number is 123241146, a student of Western Cultural Civilization Class C from the English Department of Universitas Airlangga. Today, I want to talk about something that may sound technical but it actually affects all of us, the QRIS system in Indonesia. Now, I know that most people think QRIS is just a way to scan and pay, but after watching this clip, I realize it's much bigger than that. We're not just talking about technology, we're talking about Indonesia's economy sovereignty. So, let's break it down together. Okay, so what is QRIS? QRIS stands for Quick Response Code Indonesian Standard. It's basically a unified QR code system that was launched by Bank Indonesia in 2019. Before QRIS, every digital wallet had its own QR code like OVO, GoPay, and Dana. And they weren't compatible with each other. But now, with QRIS, one code works for all. So, a small warung or coffee shop only needs one QR code to accept payments from any apps. And more than that, QRIS is also a tool that helps small and medium business go digital, even in remote areas. Okay, so the topic that we are going to discuss next is how does QRIS support sovereignty? Okay, now this is where things get interesting. The reason this topic is trending is because QRIS is more than just convenience, it's also a way for Indonesia to protect its financial independence. And how? Let me explain. So the first one is transaction stays local. With QRIS, payments happen within Indonesian systems. That means the data, the money flow, and the infrastructure are all under Indonesia's control. And the second one is less depends on global systems. This means most global digital payments go through American-based systems like Visa or MasterCard. And if QRIS becomes the main tool, Indonesia doesn't need to rely on those anymore. And the third one is strengthening the rupiah. When people using QRIS, they pay in rupiah. This helps keep the currency in circulation and avoids unnecessary conversions to foreign currency. And the fourth one, also known as the last one, it can be promotes digital literacy and inclusion, which mean especially in remote or rural areas where many people were unbanked before. And yeah, the conclusion is QRIS is helping Indonesia stand on its own feet in the financial world. Okay, so after we're talking about how does QRIS support sovereignty, so the next part that we are going to discuss is why does the video say America lose 960 trillion? Yeah, in the video I watched, there's a shocking claim like QRIS makes America lose 916 trillion. And so where does that number come from? Okay, so it doesn't mean the US literally lost 960 trillion rupiah. It's more like symbolic estimations, like showing how much money won't be processed through US dominated systems. If more countries adopt QR code-based local payment system like QRIS, and countries around the world like China with WeChat Pay and India with UP are cutting off their reliance on the US dollar. And this is called the dollarization. And for America, that's a truth. Because if fewer countries use USD for the transaction, the global dominance of the dollar become weaker. Which means the America's gonna lose the half of their dollars. So QRIS may look like a small innovation, but in reality, It's actually part of a larger global movement. Okay, so after we're yapping a lot, so the next part, I'm going to give my commentary or my personal thought. Okay, so personally, I think this is a smart way that can be moved by Indonesia. Yeah, cause we live in a globalized world, but that doesn't mean we should let foreign countries control our economy, right? And by Indonesian creating this system like QRIS, Indonesia is saying, we are ready. We can build our own foods. We don't need to follow other forever. And also, as a young generation, as a Gen Z, I believe we should be more aware of these things. Why? Because I use QRIS for almost every week. And I use it for food, transportation, and even photocopy service near my campus. And but now I realize that every time I use QRIS, I'm not just paying more easily. I am also supporting a national movement for independence in the digital economy. And of course, I agree and I think that's powerful for Indonesia. And yeah, I think maybe QR code can't defeat the US dollar, but millions of users choosing local system like QRIS can send a message. Okay, so after yapping a lot, and there's some sentence that I have to wrap. Okay, so wrap the things up. Okay, so QRIS may seem like a simple tool, but it carries a deep impact, from financial sovereignty to digital inclusion. It protects our local economy, strengthens the rupiah, and helps us take control of our own future. And I think that's enough for our podcast today. And thank you for listening to my podcast. Once again, my name is Rafli Putra Melando, and I hope this podcast has helped you see QRIS from a whole new perspective. And see you next time and stay involved.